Hi parents, Mrs. Kelly here. I wanted to give you some tips and tricks for how we teach addition and subtraction in school. And this will help you differentiate a little bit as well. So if your child is kind of beyond the basics and you want to make it a little bit harder, I'm going to show you some tricks. And then also the opposite, if it's a little bit too hard and you want to kind of make it easier for them, I'll show you how to do that as well. So what I'm going to be showing you is 5 minus 2 equals. I'm going to show you a subtraction problem, but please know that you can do this for addition as well. One thing we always do is we always point as we read the number sentence. So 5 minus 2 equals. Making sure that the number identification is correct, that they stated that that was a 5 and not thinking it's a different number, that the sign, they're aware it's minus, that means take away. 2, again, number identification, and then equals, what is the answer to the problem? What does that equal? So 5 minus 2, our first step is I always like to use some objects. So I'm gonna get those handy dandy fruit snacks out. And the first step would be for you to start with how many you have all together. So you would put out the objects for the child if you were going extremely basic and just getting started with subtraction. So I put out the 5 and now minus 2, take away 2. So you would have the child take those 2 away. And then how many do you have left? The child would say 3 and write the number 3. If you wanted to make it a little more challenging, instead of you putting out the 5, I would then have them do it. So it's getting them to understand we're not putting out 5 and 2 because we're not adding. We're not putting out 2. We're starting with the number 5. So I would have the child put out the 5 objects, fruit snacks, Legos, whatever it may be that you are using. And then it's up to them to understand that minus means take away. And then they would also take away the 2. And then again, write the number 3. So 4 objects or manipulatives, whatever it may be that you're using. If you're gonna start off, I would start off with giving them the 5 things and then having them take away. And then have them do it all together, all on their own. The next thing that we like to do is we like to draw pictures. So again, if we were gonna do 5 minus 2, I would start off with drawing some pictures. So I, as the teacher or as the adult teaching this skill, I'm gonna draw 5 stars for them. And then understanding that minus means take away, I'm going to take away 2. So then the child would take 2 away. They can either erase or they can always cross off. And then have them identify how many are left, 3, and have them write the number. Of course, the best idea is to model how you would do this, just like I did, and then have them repeat exactly what you just did if you were just starting out. The next level for this one would be so we already drew the pictures for them. So now I want them to draw the pictures. So if I gave the problem 5 minus 2 again, I would want the student to identify that they need to start with 5 and they can draw their 5 things on the page and then take away or erase the 2. And then again, identify the answer, which is 3, and write the answer. And I always have them repeat it. 5 minus 2 equals 3. All right. My next way that we teach addition and subtraction in school is using a number line. And if you don't have a fancy number line, you can always print one out, or you can even make one just by writing on a piece of paper, writing on a whiteboard. I could make it simply right here if I wrote numbers 1 to 10 or 0 to 10. So I have this number line that we use in class. And again, I'm going to model for the child how I start out. So I'm gonna start out 5 minus 2. I'm gonna move my pointer or my finger or whatever it may be that you're using to the 5 to show them that when we are doing subtraction, we start with that number 5 and then minus 2. Using number lines are a little tricky because some students always want to count this first number and they want to go 1, 2. And we all know that 5 minus 2 is not 4. So I want to reiterate that we are counting the jumps or the hops. I always say jumps in my class, so I'm counting the jumps. So 1, 2, and my answer would be 3. So again, I always want to count the jumps, and by jumps I mean if we were doing this on paper, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 1 jump and there's 2 jumps because I am subtracting 2. And then of course the next level for this one would be if I would want the child to then know which number to start out with again. So we are doing 5 minus 2. I would want the child to move the pointer or their finger or whatever it may be to the 5 to start out, and then them identify how many they're taking away, how many jumps they need, 1, 2, to get their answer 3. And again, I always have them point and read the number sentence to me. 5 minus 2 equals 3. Those are just some tips and tricks of how we teach addition and subtraction in kindergarten in my classroom. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know and I'd be happy to help. Have a great day, everyone.